brilliant, brilliant film. Very, very well done. That was awesome. Where did the story come from? Do you really like pies?
I don't mind pies, yeah. I don't mind pies. I wanted to write a story about someone moving on, finding it hard. So I wanted to write about themes of isolation. And I wanted to throw a few weird things in there, like pies and the lottery as kind of an obstacle for this guy to get around while he's trying to get over the death of his wife, really.
Cool. So was it kind of an idea that just sort of came out of nowhere? Was it an idea that sort of found itself as you thought about the themes, or?
Yeah, I don't know really. It didn't really stem from anything at the start. I went to a film festival in France a couple of years ago, and it was like a slow style like this one, and it was all about this guy's life, and you saw every bit of his life, and I wanted to kind of put that in there. But the film that I saw was very extreme. There was like a 3-minute shot of someone wrapping a parcel, and I didn't go that far. But, yeah, that really inspired me.
That's cool. I'm glad you picked pies instead.
Thank
so
you.
whether wrapping the pies and putting them in the boxes then, is that something that kind of...
Yeah, well, I just thought I'd try and, I don't know where the pie factory thing came in. My dad worked at a pie factory about 30 years ago, so I just think there's something there.
It's quite a nice homage, really. That's quite cool. So can I ask, where did you find Mike and your actors? Because they're all incredible, really, really awesome.
Thank you. Mike, we auditioned Mike. You did like an online audition, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like out of a few people, I picked Mike for the role. And I got Lawrence, the main actor, from an audition as well. And then Victor, who played the boss, he was in my other short, because I made this at university. And so he was in my short in semester 1. Then I decided to use him again. But we went through rehearsals the day before we shot, which I think worked really well. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Mike. Yeah, it was great. You know, the whole setup. You know, it allowed us, me and Lawrence, to work together before we sort of got on set or anything. So it allowed us to, you know, build up our sort of relationship and stuff. And you know, Andy was fantastic in the way he showed us these films and where he got the idea from. So you know, us as actors sort of understood from the off the style, you know, and what sort of film it was going to be, and you know, so it was quite, you know, obvious from these films that he showed us, you know, that it was great. Some of the scenes, was one scene in one of the films where they're sort of eating breakfast, aren't they, for about sort of 5 minutes, you know, and no one says anything, you know, and there's just these sounds, and yeah, it's great. So that was good that he gave us a rehearsal.
Cool. Can I ask where you found your locations?
They were all around Stoke. The Winmer was in Croxton, so we found that on the internet. We went to visit guys, and a few things I've filmed there before, like some TV programs. It's a really nice place actually. I wanted to stay there, but and then we filmed at like a cafe in Stoke. Yeah, just around the university really. Like as a student, you know, you got quite a few possibilities, because you know, when you say you're a student, you know, you get stuff for free, which was pretty good. Film still cost me, but yeah, those locations were good. Yeah.
So for each of you, because they may be different things, they may not be different things, but what were your favourite things about making this film?
I think my favourite thing was probably showing it to the audience afterwards, for the first time, because I didn't really know how they were going to react, because it's a very slow moving film, and I was worried, you know, people are going to lose patience, and I think you probably do. I think this film tests your patience. But like, we did some surveys and everything, and got a really good output, and people were laughing later tonight, so I'm really pleased with that. Yeah.
Well, apart from you know, the limited amount of pies, of course that's always a bonus. No, my favourite part of the whole thing was, as much as actually doing it, was the whole process, working with all the crew, you know, and we had such a laugh doing it. You know, and I watch it, and I think that shows, you know, in the film, is that we all, I mean, we'd only met each other a week before or something like that, but yeah, you know, we all got on so well, and you know, I felt that chemistry between us all as a cast and the crew and stuff, I felt, you know, helped the process of the film and stuff. You know, I think it showed well.
It's amazing as an actor to say that, because you usually get the actors come up and they're like, well, I was amazing at this and I was amazing at that. It's really nice that you've talked about the crew and the teams. That's awesome. There was something I wanted to ask and I've forgotten what it is, so I'm going to ask the audience if you've got any questions. Yes.
First of all, just like to say, casting, acting and directing was absolutely wonderful. It was a joy to watch. But I just want to ask a silly question. What was on the front of the pie, and what on the box, and what was on the back of Mr. Doodar's lamp? I'm just interested to see what was there.
On the back of his lamp?
Yeah, there was like a post-it note to himself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was one on his phone.
Yeah. Well, when that set was dressed, I was actually in rehearsals. So my crew of about like 5 or 6, they were dressed in the set. So I found all these like wonderful weird things like a hamster cage and like a beach bed, and I think at one time we tried to get some chickens in there, but that didn't really work. Not really allowed. But on the post-its, I think there's just some daft little things like I think there were some Jay-Z lyrics somewhere in there. Don't ask me about that. I'll give you an email for that.
Mr. Duda's face on the box.
Yes, yeah. On the box, there was it was Mr. Duda's face, the boss. Like I found a website we could get a stamp for that. So that was a fun night stamping those boxes. Yeah.
And go on. I'll ask you a minute.
Are there any other questions? Yes.
It's kind of a question. I mean, I absolutely love that. I love that patient style. I'm a really big fan of that, and I just want to kind of commend you on that, especially being such a young filmmaker, to follow your idea, to see that through, because you're right, a lot of people do tend to maybe switch off a little bit. Not for that film in particular, I mean just over that kind of style, that slow pace, so really, man, well done with that. But what are your plans for it? What do you want to do with it?
It's been in a couple of things, been in a couple of festivals. It's been a while actually since it's been in a thing, because it's got such a long running time, and I've got a few rejections from festivals. But I think like in the past few months I haven't really done anything with it, and then obviously I found out about this night, and since then I've entered it into a few. So hopefully it should
keep pushing
pick up a bit.
It's a beautiful film, and you really your style is really confident, and
Thank you.
your actors and you seem to just really nail that. And it's a beautiful film.
Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant. Nice work.
Woo. All right. Thank you very much. That was fantastic. Cheers.